Kamala Harris said her administration inherited the problem at the border. Is this what we refer to as El Paso the Bucko?
Thanks for translating it into Spanish. It's a very appropriate way to describe the situation.
The internet. Al Gore wrote the bill. If you need a search engine, go to Eminem.google.communist.
We're looking for some Joe Biden sound cuts from this afternoon. I don't know how many we're going to get. It was one of those things where they're both sitting in a chair and they're not. I don't even think they're.
Yeah,
mic'd
those
up.
are never really great for Biden cuts.
It's all just the ambient sound. It doesn't really work out that well. Plus, his voice is muffled anyway. But we'll look around and see if we can find anything. I don't think there's going to be much though. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week celebrating the start of the Tour de France, and especially their spectators for finally, after 108 years, figuring out how to make the race viewable. The massive pileups that work for NASCAR can actually make watching the Lycra parade enjoyable. I don't know. I hope they get that woman, and I hope they throw her in jail.
Yeah, what kind of country is this where people believe Britney Spears has dementia and try to deny that Joe Biden does?
Yeah, who is more needy of a guardianship, Britney Spears or Joe Biden? I think there's not too much question, is there?
How come the woke folk who are totally opposed to genetically modified fruits and vegetables are all in on a genetically engineered vaccine?
That's one of those eternal mysteries, isn't it? And they don't want to let kids have Make-A-Wish, get their Make-A-Wish requests fulfilled unless they have a vaccine. How bad is that? Even though kids die, obviously, but they don't die of COVID-19.
Does Tonya Harding know anybody on the U.S. hammer throw team asking for a fed-up nation?
Yes, the woman, I think Gwen Berry is her name. She's a shot putter, and she turned her back on the national anthem and then claimed it was a setup, like Nancy Pelosi said she was set up to go to the hair salon in San Francisco. And then she sent out all these semi-literate tweets about it. I guess she's going to be a national hero.
Taylor, it's Howie. It was so great hearing Please Mr. Custer last week. Since millennials would love hearing more hep songs about history, I think we should form a band. You and Alex can sing, Matt can play kazoo, and I, of course, will use my award-winning history knowledge to write the lyrics. Move over Millie Ray Cyrus and Beyonce. Kuz's magical history tour will be the biggest thing to hit American bandstand since Alan Sherman.
Wow, you ain't kidding. Someone just texted me that yesterday was the 55th anniversary of the release of that seminal double album, Freak Out, by the Mothers of Invention.
Hey, Howie, if John Kerry's plane's called the Flying Squirrel his private jet, can we start calling Air Force Two the Laughing Hyena?
Not unless you want to get canceled.
I never used to be afraid of ghosts, but all that changed when I found out they carry guns.
Yeah. The thing about ghost guns is, Joe didn't explain it, ghost guns are only good for shooting ghosts.
In a bold move, the Cleveland Indians baseball team said they would now be referring to themselves as the Cleveland Indian Variants.
Why does it take these teams so long to rename themselves? Washington football team will have no name for a second season this year, and the Cleveland Native Americans are going to take a couple of years too to rename themselves. What's the big deal? How long did it take the Baltimore Bullets to rename themselves? Someone just said, hey, Bullets isn't such a good name, and they became the Wizards overnight, and they turned into the Washington Wizards.
What were the Baltimore Bullets? What was wrong with that?
What was wrong with that? I don't think there was anything wrong with that. But
Does not calling something a bullet make it stop existing?
Taylor, you're asking the wrong person here. Ask some member of the woke community. Ask AOC.
Come on, man. There's so much talent in the MICKEYMOUSE community.
That's what Britney Spears was in the MICKEYMOUSE community, wasn't she? When they remade it back in the day?
Howie, it's not the heat, it's the stupidity.
That's a new way to put it. I hadn't thought of that. I like that.
Howie, Joe Biden calling. Come on, man. I just got back from North Carolina. I didn't know you lived at the YMC while going to the University of North Carolina. Say, were you in any classes with my old friend from Congress, James Polk? I mean it.
I heard the Tar Heel fight song over the weekend, Kay Kaiser, and it's kind of pronounced North Carolina, but nobody in the real world ever pronounced it North Carolina.
That was your last Chump Line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
917 points out that the Houston Astros, Taylor, used to be the Colt 45s. But then they decided they didn't want a baseball team shouldn't be named after a malt liquor. That's a joke. That's it for the Chump Line. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, including weekends. The Chump Line number, as long as it's between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. If you didn't hear your message or you just want to hear more Chump Line messages, we have another Chump Line with new messages that we didn't use today in the regular Chump Line. It's called Chopped Chumps. Chopped Chumps is posted every evening around 7 o'clock Eastern Time. You can get Chopped Chumps wherever you get your Howie Carr Show podcasts. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, this week celebrating the start of the Tour de France, and especially their spectators, for finally, after 108 years, figuring out how to make the race viewable. The massive pileups that work for NASCAR can actually make watching the Lycra Parade enjoyable.
Come on, man. There's so much talent in the MICKEYMOUSE community.
That's right. I miss the MICKEYMOUSE community. Even when it was in black and white back in the day with Annette Funticello and so many more. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr will return after this brief commercial break.